adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Make sure you are subscribed and you have the alerts turned on because I'm bringing you new training tips, running advice, and all around good vibes every single day as I train for my first 100 miles. Today, I want to talk to you about this awesome book called Eat and Run by Scott Jurek. I'm sure if you've been in the ultra running community or just the running community in general, you've probably heard of Eat and Run, and you've probably heard of Born to Run. These are probably the two most popular books, and they have the most widespread following, it seems like. I really think that these are the ones that people have heard of before. But if you haven't picked up this book yet, there's a reason why everybody has heard of it. There's a reason why everybody has read it and has loved it. I loved it. It was great. I thought that the beginning part of the book was really fantastic. It just reads like a novel. It gets you very pulled into Scott's personal story, and learning more about him and his background, his childhood, really gives you this great view of just how he grew up and how he can be this super ultra runner. Not everyone can do what he does, and anyone can run ultra distances, but to do it with the tenacity that Scott Jurek does, that's something else entirely. So finding out where he came from was really magical. Now, the beginning part of the book was a bit hit or miss at certain parts for me. When it got bogged down in the training, there were definitely gems that I think I found really useful, and there are a lot of references to books that I'm going to look up and also read. But if you're not totally into all the details and the science of training, then it might seem a little bit overwhelming. But don't let that deter you, because it gets back on track towards the end, and honestly, it never really gets off track. It's just if you're not really into like the technical details of things, it could get bogged down for you. But back at the end, I think that's where he really shows his vulnerability. So it's worth, obviously, getting through the whole thing. It's not that long of a book. It's maybe like 230 pages about, including the epilogue. So stick it out for the whole thing. I tore through it. Bit by bit because I wanted to let it all sink in. But I loved the ending. He really bears his soul to you, and I remember thinking before I got to the last couple of chapters, like, wow, Scott Jurek is just this crazy maniac of an ultra runner. Like, he can run on a broken ankle and still win. He can break his toe and hurt his knee and still run hundreds of miles through the toughest terrains, and no one can beat him. No one can pass him. I mean, he's not even human. I was thinking about the advice that I give you guys and how it works for me and it might work for you, but we have to treat ourselves a little differently than these crazy superhumans. But then at the end of the book, you realize he's not a crazy superhuman. He's not an alien from another planet. He's just like us, and he's a human, and he goes through dark places as well, and he has doubts, and he questions why he's running at all. He's the champion, and he doesn't know why he's doing it, and he doesn't win every single race. So it was really nice to get to the humanity of Scott Jurek at the end of the book, and to see that really it reaches everybody. It's relevant to everybody. So pick it up for yourself. Also, this is the book that tipped me over the edge to be a vegan. Something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and reading this book made it seem so easy, and like it made so much sense to me. And I have been feeling amazing eating a vegan diet. Yesterday was a Super Bowl, and I made a vegan Mexican 7-layer dip and some vegan jalapeno poppers, and I ate so many, and they were delicious, and I didn't feel bad or weighed down at all. I feel great today, except for getting over a cold. But otherwise, this book has tons of recipes as well for foods you can take with you on your long runs if you are a vegan. And that's really useful for ultra runners. So pick it up, give it a read. I love it. I highly recommend it. It was easy to breeze through. Really great anecdotes and stories, and it's relevant to anybody just getting into running or doing 200-mile distances or training for your first 100 or 50. So pick it up, give it a read. Let me know what you think. Have you read it before? Comment down below. See you tomorrow.